I'm starting to see everywhere. That's parents trying to be friends with their children instead of just being parents first. I'm seeing a lot of parents out here, man, dressing like their kids and using the same language, even listening to the same kind of music. I've actually even seen some parents, man, comment on their kids' social media posts instead of sitting there and correcting them. They're actually giving them their stamp of approval. They're not even teaching these kids respect anymore. Hell, they're not even expecting respect from the kids. And I don't know when that became okay, but it'll never be okay in my book. See, when I was growing up, man, you didn't have to worry about giving respect because it was expected that you were going to do that. And if you didn't do it, well, you had some trouble coming. That's just how I was raised. But here's the problem with these parents today. They think they're being cool. But in reality, what they're actually doing, man, is a huge disservice to their kids. You see, when you don't teach kids respect, man, and those basic life lessons that they need to know, you get people who grow up thinking they're entitled. And they start displaying those antisocial behaviors where they won't be in society long. And then they become adults who just want to avoid accountability, man, at all costs. I mean, just look around you. You see groups of kids running in the stores and stealing whatever they want. And these kids just haven't been taught life's lessons yet. Oh, they will be. My mother used to always say, experience is the best teacher, but it's a hard teacher. And I grew up knowing that there were two ways to learn life's lessons. There's an easy way, and that simply means listening to somebody who's been through the shit that you're going to go through. Or there's the hard way, and that's actually going through it and experiencing it for yourself. You see, these kids expect the whole world to treat them like their parents do, but the world doesn't work that way. The real world has rules and consequences. And I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush, It's not a whole generation of kids, but there are a lot of kids growing up with that whole lack of responsibility thing. That they're rebellious, which most kids are. But this particular group, they can't control their emotions, man. And that's where you get all that senseless violence. I mean, you see it on the news every day. I know I do. I don't know. I think about that a lot. But I'm sorry, I got distracted. I was thinking about a few weeks back here in Indy, man, downtown. I want to say at the expo, where 7 or 8 people got shot and 2 of them got killed, all while this crowded event is going on. But anyway, I don't want to paint with too broad of a brush. I can't say it's a whole generation because it's not. There's a lot of good kids out there, but there's a lot of bad kids out there. There's a lot of kids growing up out there, man, that have that whole lack of responsibility. They're just rebellious. Now, most kids are rebellious, but these particular kids, they can't control their emotions, man. They're very emotional, and that's where you get all that senseless violence. I just remember when parents were parents first. And if you could be, friends with your kids, cool. But they weren't trying to be cool. They weren't begging to be the cool parents, so to speak. They were worried more about being effective parents. Parenting was mandatory. Friendship was optional. That's a saying that I grew up on, man, and it's true. I also grew up under that whole spare the rod, spoil the child mentality. So I'm a big believer in kids need discipline, man. They have to know right from wrong and that decisions have consequences. But see, you never learn that if you're never held accountable for anything that you do. So I was whipped coming up. So I disciplined my own daughters in a similar fashion. Now, some kids respond to timeout. You can put them in the corner. They'll do just fine. They'll never do it again. Other kids, it's not enough. It's not a strong enough deterrent. But But nowadays, hell, parents don't even try. To me, discipline should serve as correction and prevention, but can't do its job if you don't apply it. But I guess, and I don't know how that could be, if you weren't disciplined as a child, you probably won't discipline your child. But I don't see how somebody could not be disciplined as a child. Maybe I'm naive because everybody I know was disciplined. But see, when you don't discipline your child, right, you turn your problem into a societal problem. But it's not society's job to discipline your child. I always hear people talking about, well, the police should do a better job. No, it's not the police's job to discipline your child. That's your job. The police's, their job is to enforce the laws and serve the people. I mean, just take a look around you. A lot of our problems, not all, but a lot that we're having right now trace right back to that lack of parenting. Young people are out here going buck wild, disrespecting everything and everybody, and people wonder how we got here. Bad parenting. Your job as a parent is to be a parent first. And my mother used to always say this to me. If you like me, I must be doing something wrong. She must have been doing her job well because most of the time I didn't like her. I loved her, but I didn't like her. Remember, people, your child didn't ask to be here. You brought them into this world. So it's your responsibility to raise them properly. You need to instill values and morals and ethics and teach them how to function in a normal society. That's just basic parenting 101. I also am a big believer in law and order. I guess maybe at the time I was raised, adhering to rules and regulations wasn't an option. It was just something that you did. Everybody did it. But if you're displaying any type of antisocial behavior, can't follow basic rules, the rules that allow society to function normally, then you don't belong in that society. And I believe that you need to be removed from that society until you can learn to act right or learn society's rules and adhere to them. I do believe, though, again, like I said, the parents are responsible until you hit a certain age. Now, when you hit 17 or 18, then you hold that person responsible. But I don't know. This has been on my mind. It's been on my mind for a long time. When I say a long time, years. I just wanted to come on here and address this because, believe it or not, this does directly affect all of everybody's quality of life. There are certain events I just refuse to go to. And I used to enjoy a lot. I can't go to them anymore because certain elements there. I don't know. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. If you have anything to say on this subject, please drop it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Because after all, we're all working towards a better, more respectful society. At least I am. But in order to get there, we need to start addressing these problems. We really do. Some of these problems, we're going to touch on them, and they're not going to be the most comfortable topics to discuss, but they need to be discussed. We've got issues that are tearing this nation apart. And I don't want to see that because I don't particularly want to go live in Canada. Nothing against Canada, but I grew up in America. I want to stay here. But at any rate, hey, take care of yourself and each other. And as always, I'm Unc. I'll see you guys in the next one.